Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. A warm welcome once again to the man standing beside me in the commentary box for this session, Anthony Davidson. Hello, Ant. Excited to get underway?
Yeah, absolutely. I always look forward to seeing the cars get out there on track. And they probably won't be on the limit immediately, of course. We know that one or two of the teams are looking to do some work on new aerodynamic packages, so that always takes some time to get into. But it'll be really interesting to see later on in the session what kind of performance gains are there to be found.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Australian Grand Prix as we start our career as Robert Kubica. Quick look at the vehicle management screen. Obviously, nothing to manage as of yet because it's the first race of the season. So let's head into practice, shall we? Just to let you know, I am on the G29 wheel, not a controller. We have our practice program set up here. Vehicle track acclimatization, race strategy, fuel saving, things you need to work on before heading into qualifying and the race. I think in FP1 we were doing track acclimatization and tire management, as well as a stint on the Ultras, I believe. Just a quick look as we go through some of these highlights. Obviously, if we sit here, looking at all the practice programs, we'll be here forever. So, smashed track acclimatization, going into tire management. I think this is doing fairly well. Just going through the motions at this point. And we've completed that as well. And at the end of the session, I think we ended up P8 in FP1, but it's not really representative as with the only car that used ultra soft tires. P8 though, I mean, for a first session in F1, that's not bad.
Got my message. Perfect. Welcome to home away from home. We get more real-time data from the factory now than ever before, and it all comes through here. So I have to spend more time checking over the reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end... Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, Chris, is this important? I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Right. Well, that makes no sense. Have Sarah reset the simulation and run it again. Okay. Sorry about that. As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you at the front here. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data that we've collected over the weekend and through the practice programs. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. And when that happens, we have to divert additional resources to fix it. C'est la vie, I'm afraid.
So essentially what he's saying here is that every time we achieve some targets, we get resource points. And we use these resource points on developing the car. So we got a bunch of resource points this morning as we did our practice programs. So if we look at our R&D screen, this is our R&D tree. If we see, it's got powertrain, durability, chassis and aero on it. And if we delve a bit deeper into aero, we can see that we are the 4th best team in terms of aero, but our chassis and power units are dreadful. So we've got the resource points. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some upgrades. So we've got one on each side and put them into development. Hopefully by the time we get to Bahrain, they'll be on the car. Now, just to give you some highlights from what happened in practice, we end up P7 in FP2, but then again, everyone else was doing their fuel saving and we were doing qualifying runs and race strategy, I think. So doesn't really count again. And FP3 was a total wipeout. We finished P20 and dead last because I tried doing some fuel saving runs and just didn't work out, so I left it.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
So there we have it. We've been given a rival, Nico Hulkenberg, our teammate, of course, always the best yardstick. So let's just get into qualifying, shall we?
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
So here we are at qualifying. Our hope is really to just get out of Q1. I mean, the team target is P11, I believe, which is a bit mad if you ask me, because in our qualifying practice, the team target was P15 and I was just about managing it there. So I guess we'll see. The plan is to somehow get into Q2 and then do our fastest time on the super soft tires, so we can start the race on supers and potentially do a one stop. Loading up our custom setup now, we head out early on the ultra soft tires, one of the first cars out on track, for a banker lap, just get a time on the board. And as we come up to the line at the end of our banker lap, it is a 26.6, which puts us P8, but we know we're going to be dropping down the grid. So as we come up for our final run, we actually make a mistake and decide to back out of it, save the tires, save the fuel, and go again. And with qualifying just about to end, qualifying 1, we come up to the line. We've already gained half a second on our best lap, and as we come up to the line with P15 on the bubble, have we made it? P14, yep, we made it. We are into Q2. How was that? So now for Q2, as I said, we're gonna go on the super softs, stick with plan A, and we do a 26.6 again. But the point is, I knew I was definitely quicker and had more pace, so we decided to ditch plan A and go out on the ultra softs, and we've gained time, but we haven't made it into Q3. But we've qualified P12, and get this, we have beaten our experienced teammate on debut. How's that for a debut, huh?
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
So, you know how I was talking about my great big plans and strategy for the race? Well, yeah, it's raining. Did not expect that. So, check out all my strategies, because everyone, and I mean everyone, is going to be starting on the intermediate tires in the rain. So, that's not worked out. We're just going to have to deal with it at this point.
Wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, in regards to the weather, you're absolutely right.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Perez, Ocon, Kvyat and Felipe Massa, Grosjean and Renault, Nico Hulkenberg and Magnussen, Alonso, Stroll, Pascal Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson. Van Dorn and Carlos Sainz starts from the back of the grid.
So here we are, 5 red lights out for our debut at the Australian Grand Prix, and we get an okay start, dive up the inside and hopefully gain a few places into turn 1. We've dive bombed and I think we've managed it. I think we're P9 and we're going around the outside of Esteban Ocon, that was, and we made it stick. That was a lovely move around his outside, caught him napping a bit, but he's gonna come back at us. But I think we have the traction out of here, but he's side by side around the outside, somehow going to manage it, and we've cut him out, and that's our exit, and we are up to P8. So it's been a very good start from P12 up to P8. In front of us, looking up at front, it is Sergio Perez, and then the Red Bulls and the lead cars behind us. We still really have to worry behind us because this Renault and its chassis is an absolute dog, so sliding all over the place. Not to mention my inability to keep this car on the island. At this point, I was just forget chasing Perez. I was just concentrating on not sliding off and DNFing in on lap 1, so we managed that. Good job. So as you can see, we are under pressure now already from, I think, oh hang on, I think Ocon's gone off and held people up there, and Kvyat's in the Toro Rosso is the guy chasing us down now. So at this point we've got a bit of a gap to the cars behind, and at this point I definitely know that I am not catching up to Sergio Perez, although we are going fastest in the first sector, still a second ahead of Kvyat, but soon it's turned into a race where I'm all alone, you know. As I said, too fast for Kvyat and too slow for Perez, especially in these wet conditions. That's sort of normalizing everything, and this isn't our true pace. Let's be honest, we are not fast enough for P8, but there's intermediate yellow flags for some reason, and it's just gone off. Oh hang on, then Kvyat's out of the race. The guy was just behind us and is now out of the race. Look at us, we're sliding around, calling on to our rally experience with Felipe Massa behind us now. And cut to lap 5. If you observe, it stopped raining. It's still wet. I mean, there's a lot of spray, but it's definitely not raining, and it could be time for slicks very, very soon. But who's going to be the one to trigger it? You know, I don't want to be the guy who triggers the switch onto slicks on my debut, so I'm going to play it conservative, and I am basically holding up a big train at this point, Massa and Ocon anyway. But here we go, Hulkenberg, our teammate, is the one who triggers it. Hulkenberg and I think, who was that? Is it Roshan? Are amongst the few cars, first cars, to make the switch onto slicks. They go on to super softs, and just as I saw that, I saw the message teammate in the pits, and right away I was on it, box this lap onto my set of super softs. And at this point I was really nervous, you know, just hope that I haven't lost too much time going around a sort of dry track on wet weather tires, I mean intermediate tires. But the good thing is I brought Massa and Ocon in with me, so at least they're behind me, and if I can just come out ahead of them, hopefully just keep it in the points. But I think somehow we managed to come out back in 8th place, and we've kept our position. But at this point is where everything started going downhill, because a dry track on slicks, and it was so evident that Massa was just so much faster than us, and he was in our DRS within the first lap of getting on slicks, and it's just the gulf in performance. Massa was a rapid train, and he tries it down the inside, and I close the door and survive for another lap essentially. But just the gulf in class here, just he was so fast every single corner, and he tries it again in this fast right-hander. I'm ready to go into that, but he gives us a little tap and we have to brake. We just have to back out. As you see here, he just taps our left rear, and I brake like don't kill me, and we go into the grass as well, and that's a position conceded. We are down to P9. We just have a look. I think, yep, nothing doing, and that's the last time we see Felipe Massa. And this is what pissed me off, because just as I was about to recover and settle into P9, Ocon's behind us, right up our gearbox, and he's the faster car. Obviously, he's faster than the Williams of Massa, so no breathing space whatsoever, and we might potentially be dropping down into P10 at this point. And he's going for it. We've defended as hard as we can, but just around that corner there was literally nothing I could do. I tried to keep my nose in it, but Ocon just squeezes us out, and that's it. We are down to P10. This is mid-race, and at this point I'm like, let's just consolidate. Hang on, I think this is Hulkenberg being overtaken, really? And that's a Williams. Oh, hang on, that's McLaren. That's, oh my god, it's a lovely move by Stoffel Van Dorn, and it's a misery compiler for my teammate, because another lovely move, Lance Stroll has taken him as well. Does he have a problem, or is he just getting overtaken? What's going on? And he's gonna try it around the outside, but nothing doing. Lance keeps it ahead going into turn 1. Oh, his engine's gone. His engine is gone. Lance Stroll is out of the race with an engine failure. Oh ho ho ho. That's the first engine failure we've seen today. And at this point, my race, everyone's race in front of me, it was a bit lonely. As you can see, Ocon's going through, Red Bull's going through, and Bottas is going on softs, and Kimi's on ultra. So there's a lot of different strategies going on, and I think that's why everyone's so spaced out at this point. Again, oh, Hulkenberg's not done. He's coming back at Van Dorn and gets him around the fast bit again. Hulkenberg is not done in this race, and I think that is Carlos Sainz going in to battle with Van Dorn. Van Dorn slipping back, but there's a lovely move on the cards here. They're both keeping their noses in it. This is fantastic racing with a Haas trying to get amongst it. They're still there, still keeping it through, and the Haas has gone into the pits, and oh, he's got him. Carlos Sainz has got Van Dorn, and I think towards the end of this race, Sainz and Hulkenberg could be our biggest rivals. And Hulkenberg comes in for his second pit stop. I was looking to stay out and do a one stop, but let's just react to what our rivals are doing. So interestingly, Hulkenberg's come in for super softs, and I'm coming in the next lap obviously, but at this point I'm looking at it and there's only 10 laps to go, and I'm wondering why is he going on to super softs? Does he not have ultra softs remaining, or what's going on? But I'm definitely going on to a set of ultra soft tires, because 10 laps I can stretch them out easily, and with Hulkenberg and Sainz coming for me, surely that's going to help me keep ahead and keep this P10. As we come out of the pits, I have no idea where we are at this point, because where's Sainz? Is he pit, or I think this Hulkenberg's coming in. Oh, he's lost his front wing. You see that, the debris falling all over the place, and he's lost his front wing. And oh my god, that's just sad for Hulkenberg. He's got to come back in for another. Oh no, he needs a front wing change as well. So that's his race ruined. Effectively, 2 laps after pitting, he's come back in again. And Sainz is on. What's he on? Sainz is on ultra softs as well, and exactly what I said, because if I were on super softs like my teammate, at this point I would be so vulnerable to Carlos Sainz. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not now. I'm still being hounded by the guy. He's got incredible pace behind me, just all up my gearbox. Just let me go, man. There's 4 laps to go. I'm doing everything and anything possible just to keep him ahead, just using all of my defending experience, making the car as wide as possible, rolling into corners and just getting in just getting in his way, just not making this overtake easy. And he's not making it easy for me either. He's darting around. I defend to the inside, he's gone for it, but we've got that corner and we will squeeze him out. We survive for another lap, and this is just unrelenting pressure, one lap after another, and he's coming again, and we squeeze him out, we roll out, and that's the racing line that we command. And at this point, if this insane pressure from the Toro Rosso wasn't enough, look at this, the leaders are coming through and we have to let them pass. Blue flags. Oh my god. This race, man, we haven't been going forward as much, but this defending has been on another level. Sainz is about to let Kimi through and I let him pass as well on the straight, but Hamilton's coming past and I have to let him pass real soon, otherwise I'm gonna get a penalty. So I go out wide and give him so much space, look at that, but he rolls into me and smashes into my wing, smashes into my side pod, I should say. But somehow we manage it, and as we come up to the end of the lap, because we've been lapped, it's the last lap of the race, Sebastian Vettel comes through for an easy win. Kimi gets P2, Hamilton P3, and there's us holding P10 on debut. What a result! Man, that was stressful.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
And that was it for the Australian Grand Prix. Success, would you say? I mean, in the points on debut, I think so. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I will see you on Saturday for the Chinese Grand Prix. Yan Barpe.